Hello, chat. Hello. Hello, chat. I'm really late. I'm really late, I know. I'm like over an hour late. I'm over an hour late. Why do you have so many gems in you? How do you get stuff in your gift box? I saved up the gems. I just didn't spend them. And the gift box is more gems because you can't have over 10,000 gems. So it stores them. I'm surprised how bad Brandon did in the cup. We did pretty well. At least we were on track too. But anyway, how are we, chat? Did we did we enjoy the weekend? Did we enjoy the WCQ? It was indeed a living hell. Um, yeah. No, I enjoyed it. I always enjoy them. They're really intense, but I always enjoy them. So yeah, let's do a little recap. Let's do a little recap. Um, so it's a silly goober. Hello, Drizzy. The amount of rats there was insane. Yeah, so what we can do is let's look at my deck real quick. This is what I played for the WCQ. According to the results, we're gonna look at the spreadsheet later. Hypel, hello Pain. According to the results, Brandon did not do very well. And if you discount the actual final placing, this might have been, one of the top 3 branded lists. If you cut it off like halfway through day 3, this might have been the top 5 performing branded lists. But this is what I played, and I have some thoughts on it. It's basically what I've been, you know, what I've been saying for ever, right? Like ever since the new cards came out, it's basically the same list that I've been playing. But there's like some slight things going on, and I guess I have new information on from the weekend. I am really tired for some reason. I don't know why. I'm also really hot. It's like one of the hottest days ever right now. How did April do in WCQ? Did they reach top 100, top 10? No. I did not reach top 10. I did not even reach top 100 by the end. But genuinely, we were cooking so hard. Like the story of my duelist cup was that frame 1, we were like at the top of Europe, and we held that position the whole time. Like we were top 10, top 20 at least the whole run until the last like 15 hours where we just did a steady fall all the way down to nothing basically. That was the extent of my run. Cookie check. Let's do a quick cookie check. It's been a while. 1 SS Ecclesia. Um, you can play 2. You can play 1. I definitely see a reason to play 2, but it's also not a great draw, which is the objective of playing 1. We have 11.8 quintillion cookies and 90.7 trillion cookies per second. So yeah, this is my list. Let me tell you what I loved about the list. I loved the combo that I did on turn 1, right? The combo that involves this card, the combo that we came up with that uses the Sword Soul, the kit, and the 3 champions, right? The April combo. I really, really liked that. Even though Draco Tail wasn't popular, so the good matchup of setting Retribution and having Makuria didn't really come up. That setup is still really good and really generic, right? Like it still cooks the mirror match, and it's still perfectly good enough to beat Cool Tune, which is not great at going second into your board. I pretty much always, I can't remember many times at all, if any, Like literally, if any. I can't remember ever making a full combo and then losing to Cool Tomb. Um, I can't remember that ever happening. I don't think it ever happened. And we're talking like 300 games. So like I was really happy with the combo. I felt like it was really really strong going first. Um, I was also relatively happy with my going first consistency. I didn't feel like I bricked um going first, right? Like I didn't feel like I drew too many bad cards like Retribution and Sword Soul going first. And I also felt like I drew starters enough, um, even though there's not technically that many. But something I didn't like was the consistency going second. I felt like I did brick a lot going second, which is weird to say because, you know, it's the same it's the same list. So like how can you brick going second but not first? Well, it's because the standard is like higher, right? Your hand needs to be better going second to do anything. If you draw Kit or Sword Soul going first, they're like sort of extenders. But going second, they're actually just bad. They're really bad. So I regretted playing bricks like this. Oh, I keep closing the deck list. Kid is fine, but Sword Soul is so bad. No, I completely disagree. Kwame is okay to draw. I completely disagree. I think going first, Sword Soul, Kit, even Quam are okay. I think there's no draw in the deck that going first is bad, right? The worst draw in the deck when you go first by far is Quam. Quam by far is the worst draw in the deck going first. These are okay. You can make do with these. These you can still combo with these in your hand, and you can still actually like play through some stuff a little bit. They're pseudo extenders, but going first they're really bad. Going first they're really bad. You never want Quam going second. You never really want her going first either. Um, if you draw Quam going first and you have a better play alongside it, then the fact that you drew it is just a complete liability. Quam is better than the trap. It's not better than the trap. It's better to draw the trap going first than Quam. Quam is the worst draw in the deck by very, very far, to be honest. But when you go second, this is really bad. 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 And also Makuri is very, very bad too. So it was really, really like annoying how many games I sort of felt like I had a bad hand going second. However, I am not convinced that that is a solvable problem because you have to play the bricks. I was thinking about it afterwards. I tested it for a little while yesterday. Right, I tested for a little while, and I kind of came to the conclusion, the same kind of conclusion, um, the same kind of conclusion that I have always had, right, a long time ago, which was that you have to play some kind of bricks, right? Like this was my very first impression of the deck. I think there is absolutely no justification for playing Fallen of the White Dragon line that isn't a one card combo, right? If you cut the Sword Soul brick and the Kit brick, your Fallen of the White Dragon line doesn't exist. It literally doesn't exist. It's just a card that pairs really well with the rest of your hand. And I think that that's awful. I think that's a really, really, really terrible way to play Branded. Because if you play no bricks, you can go Fallen of the White Dragon, activate it, send like Albion, summon Ecclesia, make the Synchro banish, summon Cartesia, go to the end phase, set F and V, bring back the Synchro pass. It's really, really bad. Like, it's really, really bad. Um, and at that point, you don't even, if you don't have like a really good hand of extenders, but you also have branded fusion, you don't even go for your synchro line over branded fusion because it doesn't end on anything. So you really, really have to play some bricks in order to end on a combo. Now, I'm not necessarily sure if you have to play this one and this one and this one I guess you could play around with less of them. I think this card is really mandatory. I would definitely not cut this one. And I think you do have to play something like Sword Soul or Kit that make your white line better. Probably Sword Soul. Is Branded Sword worth? No. Branded Sword is probably not worth. Branded Sword doesn't interact with your main line, your Fallen of the White line. It's only for silly lines with Branded Fusion and like improvised lines. It doesn't interact with your main line, which is kind of a silly thing to include a brick for. You have to play Quam? Yeah. You do have to play Quam. You have to play Quam, but you never like drawing it. Quam is always a bad draw. Um, it's honestly one of the biggest misconceptions in Branded since the start of this card existing. People think this card is good to draw, and it blows my mind. It's not. This is the worst draw in the deck. Um, why would you normal summon a monster that doesn't do anything? Think about it, chat. That's a vanilla. That's called a vanilla monster. Anyway, what else about the deck? Q banish my Wildbats and I have to Shrouded Pitch Sword grab it back. So yeah, this is what I mean about improvised plays, right? Branded Sword is for improvised plays, like Q banishes cards and then you can sword it back. I did feel that a couple times. I thought during the run a few times, it would be so cool if I had Branded Sword right now because they banished my whatever from Q. So I thought like, yeah, it would be nice. But then I think about the amount of times I drew this and hated it going second. Same for this. And Branded Sword would just be another one. So that being said, to summarize what I just said, going first, I absolutely love the list. I think it was perfect for going first. For going second, I sort of lamented the amount of bricks in it, but upon thinking about it, there's no way to cut them. You can't exactly do a combo that's satisfactory without some number of bricks. But maybe the actual specific amount of bricks can be thrown around a bit. Maybe we can try without Kit, for example. You have the level 11 fusion. What does it do? This card is really good in the mirror match. In hindsight, I probably should have played Lulu because the mirror was very rare last weekend. It was all Cool Tune. I should have played Lulu or Quiritas, which are a little bit better versus Cool Tune, but this is still fine. I really like this in the mirror match though, because this is kind of a win condition in the mirror match, right? You steal your opponent's Dogma Dragons, and then that, I mean, Dogma Dragon is the game plan in the mirror match. And this card gives you extra copies of it because it lets you steal your opponent's from the graveyard. Yeah, it also banishes F and V cards, which honestly came up versus lots of decks, to be honest, right? When Cooltoon randomly played into it and summoned this, and then they activated F and V, I would always get that free banish, which was always very nice. And I found out that Nadia 7 is so bad. Yeah, Nadia 7 is another one. Nadia 7 is another one. I guess let me load up the list like this so that we can use the search function. Yeah, so this is the same list, I believe. Yeah. Nadia was so bad. I'd already solved this a long time before the WCQ, so it never crossed my mind in the WCQ because I kind of already knew better. But this card sucks against Cooltoon. You cannot play this card versus Cooltoon because going second, this card is a brick. This card is just as much of a brick as Golden Sword Soul because you need your end phase to beat Cooltoon boards. You just do. You need your end phase. Like the amount of times that my game plan versus Cooltoon relied on the end phase as my final push with like Titaniclad, right? Summoning Albaz. That happened all the time. If you watched a lot of my stream, you'll have seen it, right? Because we played against Cooltoon like every other game. We always tried to set up this Titaniclad and summon it in the end phase, and you just can't do that if you Nadia summon. This card just does nothing. It just contradicts that game plan. So yeah, this card I didn't regret not playing this. Like I said, going first, I felt like my deck was really fine. I didn't need an extra powerful card going first. What disappointed me the most about the deck was just going second and drawing bricks. Um, but then again, overall, I can't really complain too much. I'm skeptical about saying the list can be improved because it did so well. Um, like just to quickly recap the story of my WCQ again, we were like instantly number one or like close to it in Europe. We had such a crazy win rate the whole weekend, first day, second day, and the first half of the third day. And then what happened is I made a very, very, very bad mistake on the third day of playing the whole 24 hours from like 4 a.m. to 4 a.m. I should have taken a break halfway through, like I was doing the rest of the weekend, and then come back to it. And I think we would have continued to cook the whole way to the end, and we would have had like 60 something thousand. Um, I really think I threw it personally with my ability to play, right? Like I threw it, right? Like my choice to not break. 24-hour no break, that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Um yeah, it was so close to a 24-hour game of tilt. So it's not game of tilt. It's not tilt. It's not about tilt. It's about biology, right? You have to break because you need sleep, right? You need to be able to sleep to play at your best. Um I should have told you to take a break. Yeah, I should have listened. I knew to take a break. When we had like 50 something thousand at around, halfway through day 3, it was the perfect time to call it there, get a few hours rest and try again. But I threw that. I threw that by staying awake and I played really bad for the rest of the day. Um in other words, what I'm saying is the list the list didn't throw in the end. I threw in the end. The list cooked the whole time, and I threw it at the end, which means I can't complain about the list too much because it did really well, and I can't exactly guarantee that there's a way to make it do better. Like at the end of the day, it's not Cool Tune, it's not the best deck, so maybe this is the best we can get, right? Where we have to put up with the fact that sometimes you draw bricks going second. Um, maybe it's the best we can get. Another thing that I didn't like about the list, or the format, I should say, was that going second, there were a lot of matchups other than Cool Tune that you did insta lose to without like Super Poly Albaz. The Radiant Typhoon Zoo deck, which was probably like the second most popular deck of the weekend, like even more than Branded. Like the Radiant Typhoon Zoo deck, I felt like you couldn't break that board unless you drew Super Poly plus Albaz. That was really, really tough. So yeah, that one was tough. And then I guess the last thing about the list, or last couple of things, I'll mention this. I mentioned this in the video that I made earlier. Um, this was amazing. This is not just a throwaway choice. This card was MVP versus Cooltoon. Like ever since I included this, it came up so much. The amount of times I summoned it with the Super Poly was a lot. I really, really enjoyed the option of Super Polying a Cooltoon board immediately to put them on 0 monsters. Because when you go second against Cooltoon, putting them on 0 monsters at any point in time is such a big deal, right? Because that basically limits that only disruption left to like non-engine and Clip. And Clip can't do anything crazy, right? With no monsters on the board, with no monsters left on your board, you just attack them directly with Dark Magician for game. Um, Clip can't do anything. Clip just summons RS at best, and RS is like a bad disruption for what you have in the end phase. And it doesn't do follow up. So like the option to just take away their board was incredible. 2 Dogma standard, yes. I did feel the need for the second Dogma Dragon. Every single mirror match that came up, we loved the Dogma Dragon. And also, like, plenty of other matchups too. Can you cut the second Albion? No. You definitely need 2 Albions. I didn't really hate the extra deck at all. There was no card in the extra deck that I felt like I wanted. The only thing that, like, would come up a couple times, I guess, is Furious over Chaos. I didn't feel like Chaos came up that much. Against Cooltoon, I never felt like it came up because when you go first against Cooltoon, your game plan is to remove everybody they put on the board. Um Obviously you end on Mirror Jade if you combo, so the first body they put on the board gets Mirror Jade banished. You always want to Mirror Jade banish the first one because it plays around Cooltoon Synchro, right? If you F and V the first body, they can chain Cooltoon Synchro and get a fusion onto the board, and you'd probably have to chain the Mirror Jade there, so it's kind of a waste. Whereas if you try to Mirror Jade the first body, it doesn't matter if they Cooltoon Synchro, because whatever they summon still gets banished. And then you just have to deal with the graveyard effects. So, like, the first body you remove with Mirror Jade, the second one you F and V, and then, like, the last one you Albaz fuse, right? Usually Q is not the starter. Usually they put Mix or Rico on the board first, because it's better into branded, because you can't fuse it away. So they try to hide the Q a little bit, and then when they do hit the Q, then you go for the Albaz fuse. And because Dogma Dragon exists, you can go Albaz fuse with the Q because it's a light, and whatever they summon with it, which means you've already cleared that Q, so you don't have to go Chaos. You don't have to go Albaz into Albion into Chaos to remove both bodies. You can just fuse them with Dogma. And the reason why that matters for Furious is that it's nice to somehow set up an extra disruption, right? Dogma Dragon isn't actually a disruption, but if you ever fuse with the Q on its own and there's no other monsters, then putting the resources into this would be like alright, because it checks JJ. I felt it a couple times. I'm not really making a good point for it, I think. Maybe the logic isn't there, but I felt it a couple times that I wanted this instead of Chaos. I think this card's best matchup is Draco Tail, where you can pop 2 sets. When they resolve it off Allion, and they set 2, and then you get an Albaz fuse off, and you can pop 2. Like the Rahu and the Ketu. That feels like the best use of Chaos. Did Sark and Merc ever feel clunky? So I think we drew Sark and Merc a total of 3 times together, right? It's really rare that you draw them both together. We drew them like 3 times together total, and I don't even remember if we lost those games or not, if I'm honest. Lenatus, you need a lot. This card comes up a lot in theory versus Draco Tail and the mirror match, but it also just comes up in your own plays, right? When you don't get to resolve Wildbaz line and you have to play with Branded Fusion, a lot of the time you summon Albion and then you don't have a great way to refuse the Albion away. You don't have Lubellion anymore, so you need a way to get this in the graveyard, and sometimes that is just Lenatus. And sometimes the Zaylin. So, funnily enough, the Zaylin doesn't come up. Like, Cooltoon respects it for free. They have a very, very free time respecting the Zaylin into Lenatus. So I don't think this whole weekend I ever fused away a Lenatus. I'm fused away a Zaylin into Lenatus. I don't think that came up once. Yeah, it outs Secretarion. So that's what I mean. In theory, it's the Draco Tail matchup, but it also comes up in just your own gameplay, right? When you play with Branded Fusion and you want to get your Albion into the graveyard, it's a nice option to have, right? Like in theory, something that happens a lot is you go Branded Fusion for Albion and you send Kit as the light monster, and then Kit revives Albaz, and then the Albaz on the board can fuse away with the Albion just for Lenatus to get it into the graveyard. I did once the whole run. Yeah, like you don't fuse away Zaylin very often, because usually what happens when you summon a Wildbaz is that they will, in the open game state, they will activate KTS and they will mix pop your Albaz, right, to prevent exactly this. Or they'll just make back-to-back with it, right? So you don't actually get to do that very often. What about Lube Lion? You mean this one? You mean this guy? The Bestial Lubellion? You don't play this anymore because you don't need to. He's not a part of your main line, so it's kind of silly to play a card in your deck that doesn't come up in your main line. Which is the same justification for no branded sword. What about Cockbird? I mean, honestly, a lot of these choices I've already solved. A lot of these choices I have no further opinion on because I'd already made up my mind before the WCQ. I'd already done my testing. Like, I've already concluded that I don't want to play this. For pretty good justifications, I know a lot of people do play this. We played against a few Cockatoriums in the branded mirror. But I don't like it because it's strictly a normal summon, right? The deck doesn't want to draw another normal. Exactly. The worst hands in this deck are the ones that draw multiple normal summons going second. Those are the auto losses that this deck gets, right? When you draw Alibra, Quam, Dogmatic, or Ecclesia going second, 3 normal summons, those are the auto losses. And this is just contributing more to that. Going first, it's fine because it's basically a normal summon like Alibra that doesn't get hit with Valor or Imperm, which is really good. I will say, looking back, this card could have been really good going first. This card would have been better than Alibra going first because Kultun was playing Imperm and Valor, right? Kultun was playing all the hand traps. So having a starter that dodged that for free would have been okay, I guess. It would have been good. But it would have only helped going first. It would have been a lot worse going second because this card going into a board would never do anything. Like, like the mix pop is one of the least relevant interruptions that they have against you when you go second, and this just gives them a good mix pop. Like, it really would not help going second. And like I said earlier, going first, I felt like we were fine. It was only going second that we struggled with. So I would never play Cockatorium. Did Ash ever feel cuttable? No. Ash never felt cuttable. This is a good card. When you go first, you're a combo deck. You would really like to negate Maxi and Fua. Also, this card is like good against Kultun because this is a high threat on top of your deck, right? This isn't like Fua. I mean, even Fua's alright, but this isn't like Droplet. Sorry, this isn't like Valor or, you know, Imperm. This is like a high threat if they find it with Q. A lot of the time they will hide it, right? If there's like a good draw like Super Poly and an Ash on top of your deck, they won't stack the Ash. They will actually put this to the bottom, right? They'll banish this and then put this to the bottom because this is a threat. This negates Kultun Synchro. It's in theory good against Dracotel, yeah. Why do you not play red anymore? Because the only reason to play red was to make Mirror Jade on the end board, and you can do that anyway. You can do that by playing an extra deck brick, this card, instead of a main deck brick. And it's always better to play an extra deck brick than a main deck brick. What else? I guess we'll talk about these cards. These 2 slots, the 2 droplets, if you watched any amount of my weekend streams, you'll probably have seen that I was testing out different non-engine in this spot like over and over again. I couldn't decide what I wanted in this spot. Sometimes it was talents. I played Ghost Ogre. I played Ghost Bell for a while. I even tried this card. I tried Contact C, right? Instead of the droplets, I tried Contact C. The idea is that this card is good against Kultun, and it's decent against Branded. Because when they normal summon in Kultun, you special this, and then they can't synchro it away because all of the Kultun cards require tuners, right? This is a non-tuner, and all the Kultun cards require tuners. right? So they can't fuse synchro it away. But somehow, as good as that sounds in theory, somehow it never worked. We summoned it like a few times against Cooltoon, and it never worked. Literally never won me a game because, and I know that this might just be anecdotal, might just be unlucky, but the first time I used this, my opponent synchroed it off into a Crocker Dragon. They randomly just synchroed it off into a Crocker Dragon, whatever it's called. This guy. They randomly had this. Yeah, the second time they randomly had Shooting Riser, which is an out to contact C. Don't they play F and V now so they can make Ecclesia too? I mean, they play F and V, which outs it by popping it. Ecclesia doesn't out it because it's pretty hard to make an 8, right? It's pretty hard to make an 8. Unless they started with Mix. People started respecting it more later on. Yeah, I mean, that's what I found. Taramir gave me the idea. That's why I started running it. He messaged me and gave me the idea. Um, but this never worked out. We summoned it against Cooltoon like 3 or 4 times, and it literally got synchroed off every time. The first time it got turned into Crocker Dragon, then it got turned into Riser, and then it got turned into SP. And at that point, I was like, I'm not playing this ever again. um, so, I tested Droplet, I tested talents. I basically couldn't decide what I wanted in this spot because what I kind of wanted a Magic Impossible card in this spot. I somehow wanted a card that was extra engine to help me push going first, but also really good card going second, like a board breaker, really high impact card, but also a hand trap, right? To interact with the actual cheesy decks like Synchron FDK and Radiant Typhoon. And there isn't a card that does all that, right? A card cannot be engine, board breaker, and hand trap at the same time. That doesn't exist. At least not yet. Bestials? Yeah, I guess in theory, right? This card fits the bill, right? This is a hand trap, a board breaker, and engine, in theory. But no, it would never be a bestial. Gamma was actually great. It could have been Gamma. I never liked droplets. I've never played droplet in branded because this card is the brickiest non-engine you can play. Like, drawing this is the worst. I feel like every single time I drew this going first, it was awful, and I barely activated it. Like, I didn't feel like droplets comes up. As weird as that sounds, because it's so generic, you feel like it comes up every time going second, and it's just an imperm going first. But it's somehow not, right? If you go first and you get stopped, the fact that you have to send a card can be like stupid. Um, and then when you go second, sometimes it's just 2 minus, right? A lot of branded cards like Super Poly and like High Spirits, they're minus anyway. And like sometimes this is like awful. The only thing I like about droplets going first is sending Mirror Jade so you can revive it with Quan. Yeah, but like that's trivial, right? Like your end board, if you know how to play it, it naturally resets the Mirror Jade all the time. Like that's always a trivial thing. And to be honest, most of the games were against Cooltoon, where you didn't need to manage a full combo end board perfectly and squeeze out every optimal disruption in order to win. You can win with like half of the end board against Cooltoon a lot of the time. So I didn't feel like droplets ever did anything for me, which is why I didn't like it. Only real use was clearing board to make Fu alive, and I still lost. I mean, yeah, of course you still lose, right? Like that's a terrible play. You want to end on nothing? You want to droplets clear your board just to make Fu alive? They're just gonna kill you through Fu at that point. That's not a great use of the card, So I don't like Droplet. Is it a slot for Crown when it comes? Yeah. So that's a good point, actually. When we get Forbidden Crown, that card does go into the deck. And I think that replaces the Droplet really nicely. Right? We probably will play Crowns. And Crown is really good, so we probably find a way to play 3, not just 2. It wasn't my plan, that was only when I got stopped. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I guess. Dark Lord tech? We'll see. We'll test the Dark Lord idea. You play 3 Crown for sure, it's insane. Yeah, I mean, it's insane in general. It's good in the mirror match, right? The nice thing about Crown and Droplet and FNV and Super Poly, all of the spells, right, is that they completely cook the mirror match because you just save it for Albaz, and then most of their end board is like checked, right? Albaz is like the swing in like every matchup for branded, but the mirror match as well. If you go second into a branded board, this is the swing. So as long as you have this in hand or this in hand or crown in hand, then it checks it. You know what else can save Albaz to cook them? Contact C. That's not true. That's not true. Albaz almost never summons itself as Chainlink 1, and this card misses the timing. So you can't actually cook Albaz with that. Like a lot of the time Rinbrum is gonna be chained to something, or if it's like Quam Revive, it could possibly still be Chainlink 2. It worked every time actually, but it does miss the timing. So in theory it doesn't always work. But I guess that's true. This card does cook Albaz, but I feel like that would be a very bad way to solve Albaz because this is way too specific. When all of those cards I mentioned, I mean, we're talking about Super Poly, FNV, and Forbidden Crown. Like, of course, those cards are the superior options. Those cards have infinite other uses. This is only justified as a non-engine if it FTKs Cool Tune, and because they're playing around it now, I don't see a reason to play this. I really enjoyed your WCQ streams. Thank you, Sun Sun. I had a good time making them. So yeah, I guess what we can do, now that we've talked about the deck a little bit, let me just go over to the WCQ. This is where we ended. We ended miserably low on 41,000. We went all the way from 54k halfway through day 3 to just bleed out all the way down here at the end. And like I said a couple times now, I think the main mistake was choosing to play all 24 hours. You know, I think we reached 54k maybe 10 hours into the stream, and then going for another 15 hours was a mistake. That was the big mistake. So like on the rankings, you can see that we don't get anything good, right? Not even top 100, not top 10 regional. Really, really bad. But anyway, so who won? We got, this is Ryan Yu. This is Ryan Yu who won. We have Pack in the top 10 here. We got Grey Ghost. Who is this? Who is second place here? I don't recognize this person. If we go over to EU, so for the EU, this is the spot that we were competing for. On day 2, when I checked your stream, I saw you at 43k when I was at 18k. Yeah, that's unreal, Terramir. That's unreal. This is him, by the way. This is Terramir. He is the ultimate despair. So very close. Did first and second qualify, or just first? I'm pretty sure it's just first, right? It's not second place as well. Only first? Yeah. And that's the crazy thing, right? Like if we looked at this like every hour, we checked the rankings every hour. Since literally frame 1 up until close to the end, we were here. We were on this screen the whole time. And if we weren't, we were still like 11th place or something. So I really, really felt it this time. That's why it really hurt to fall at the end because we were really in contention for this spot. Like we held this exact spot, first place for a little bit, and then we were top 10 for most of it. We were really close to getting this, and I didn't even want this. I didn't even want the qualification. I was really happy with just a top 10 finish. I was really happy to just get top 10, and I thought it was a given. I thought it was a given because I was there the whole time so easily. And then we just fell at the end, which was, and it was my mistake. It wasn't even like, the deck or anything. Is it first global or first for each region? This is the regional ranking. This is the global ranking. Didn't NA get a second as Ryan was already qualified? Um, that makes sense, right? That should be true. Pack should be going to Worlds, right? I think Pack is already qualified as well, isn't he? I don't know. It's 2 spots for the host region. Okay. Um, yeah, so we got Ryan, Pack, Jesse in fourth. Who is this? Who's washed? Who is this? Is this Ray? I don't know who this is. Um, I don't know who this is. Ray? It is Ray. Okay. We've got Smengar. You know what we can do actually? Instead of looking at this, let's look at Haas's spreadsheet. That might have a little bit more information. Okay. So we've got Mordred made 7th. Yeah, Mordred made 7th. I think this is probably the only Duelist Cup ever that Mordred has outperformed me. This is the only one he's ever outperformed me in, so congrats, I guess. This is Haas's spreadsheet. This is the compiled data from Haas. So hopefully this is not too small. Can we see this? Is it too like low quality? Do I need to zoom in? On day 2 he was like 40k with 80 games played. I'm pretty sure I made it to 40k with even less games played. Right? I'm pretty sure I hit like 40k day 1 or something. No, not quite. It was like 30k day 1 with like 50 games played. That was what I was thinking of. It was like a really good score for me. But yeah, we've been over that. I guess we'll zoom in. I don't want to block the stuff too much. But yeah, I guess we don't need that last column. Yeah, so first place Ryan Yu, Sky Striker, and Radiant Typhoon. I don't know the breakdown of what he played the most. It could be either. Like I know he loves Sky Striker. I guess there's a Twitter post. Okay, it doesn't oh, it does say here. 0 to 50k Radiant Typhoon, and then 50 to 74 Striker. Yeah, I can see that being the case. Um, White Twitter, I apologize. I apologize. Second place is Arata. I don't know who this is. I've never seen this name before. But they played Cool Tune. Let me see what the best performing Cool Tune list was. Oh, they don't have a list? They don't have a list? Damn. Third place apparently played some 60 card branded, as well as Zufun. Um, I would love to see the 60 card branded list and pick their brain about it, but we don't have a list. Stella got 4th with Cool Tune. Let's see if this should have a list, right? This also doesn't have a list. They're not showing the Cool Tune list. Sana got 5th with Cool Tune. Let's see if this one. Okay, there's a Cool Tune list here. So this is the best Cool Tune list that we can find. 71,000. 71,000. Insane points. And yeah, I mean this is exactly what I expected. I could have probably reconstructed this exact list or something close because every Cool Toon list looked like this, right? They were all on infinite hand traps. They even started playing Purge, which was something that didn't make sense at first because you play Darks, right? Like this locks you out of Darks. All of your boss monsters are Darks. Like back to back Zalen, RS, Remix, they're all Dark. And even some of your main deck is off limits, right? Like Rico can't be activated and Clip can't be activated. So it feels so pointless, right? But the objective is just to have more good hand traps. And the idea is that in the Duelist Cup, where the games are really fast, you just like mini game people with hand traps, and then you kill them with anything, right? Because you stop everything they do, and then it doesn't matter that you can't activate Rico if all they have is a vanilla, right? No Maxi? Yeah, there's no Maxi here. What the fuck? Why is there no Maxi? It's not a tuner, I guess. No Fua? No Fua is reasonable, but I'm really surprised that there's no Maxi. He did play Maxi for most of it. Um, does not mention the Maxi in the review. Moonlit over Maxi? Surely we played Maxi, right? Surely. Surely we did. But yeah, this is cool too. You just played infinite hand traps, infinite starters, and Pot of Desires because this deck is basically immune to desires. He posted Maxi list build for the meme. Okay. Troll list? I mean, it's not a troll list because you put Maxi in this, and this is exactly what every Cool Toon player was on anyway. So it's still correct for the most part. Um, what else we've got? I don't want to play the one Maxi and banish it off Desires. Yeah, Desires in Cool Toon, by the way, this card never came up once as like a win condition, right? When for the opponent, for me against the opponent. Like Desires never ever killed them, right? Like it's not possible to get a bad Desires in this deck. Like theoretically, I thought that it's possible at some point that Desires would like bite them, but it never happened, not once. I never had anybody activate Desires and then lose because of it. Every single time I saw Desires activated, I said this time, yeah, me too. And it never happens, right? They always activate Desires, and then they always have as many Cool Toon synchros available as they need. They always have Clip. They always have JJ. They always have one of every name at least, right? Like there's somehow never a bad Desires banished. Um, but yeah. So looking at if we zoom out a bit, looking at the top 10 here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Cool Toon. Also, I just noticed that Grey Ghost also played Cool Toon. So that makes me a little less excited about these lists because, I mean, if we played Cool Toon, we probably played a lot of it. Can we see the rats? Let's see it. The best performing Zhu Foon build. These were also pretty streamlined. I feel like this list was also really, really streamlined. Although this one is a little weird, actually. It's playing Shifter. This one's on Shifter? Like, yeah, I guess. I hate this list. Why? Why do you hate this list? Zoo Spell? Barrage is not that bad. Barrage makes perfect sense. Barrage is fine. But the Shifter's weird. Tenki as well, actually. Tenki doesn't feel like that good of a card, but I guess it searches either or, right? Like theoretically this searches Swen or Rat, which is like it's hard to call that a bad card. I don't play Barrage. It's reasonable to not play Barrage, yeah. I see no Rat build without Shifter. Well, that's just Radiant Typhoon, isn't it? No Rat, no Shift. That's just regular Radiant Typhoon. Yeah, this list was annoying. This list was annoying, or this deck was annoying to play against because it was impossible to win with a hand trap because Radiant Typhoon cards are like Snake Eye into hand traps. You can never get a good one off of them. Not when they're trying to combo like this. Against Pure, you can like Bell Crocea, and like that's value. But against this deck that's trying to make like a big FTK board, like what are you gonna do, right? You can't hand trap Swen and Eldam. They just push through it. And Crocea doesn't need to even resolve in this combo. People playing KT with Purge was so insane. I agree. I think Cool Tune, if we look at the Cool Tune list again, I know there's no Maxi here, but um this is look at the amount of hand traps in Cool Tune. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 hand trap list. Like come on. I mean, and I think this is on the is this on the lower end or the higher end? Because I don't know how common it is to play this two copies of Duelist Genesis. I've seen some people play Purge and Impulse. There's no way they play Impulse. You can't play Impulse in this deck, right? Because that turns off Q and Rotary. You can't. Pack posted the list. I guess we'll have a look at packs. But yeah, the top 10 is like mostly Cool Tune. Um, we have Vanquish Soul Canine here. Somebody, how did somebody, how do we have a deck but not a name right here? I don't know what that is. But anyway, we have Shoma Yusa on VS Canine. Of all decks, we chose to play this one. Goat Shoma, yeah. Contact C in the deck, of course. If there's any deck that loves Contact C, it's this one because it's an attribute. Um, and also like this deck is like Hand Trap Turbo, right? Look at this. I said there's a lot of hand traps in Cool Tune, but this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, it's actually less. But still, this is like weird hand trap turbo. What is that Pendulum XE? I don't know what that is. I got retaliating one time the whole weekend and it was from Cool Tune. Pack had 3 lists. We played against Pack a lot. I actually had some banger games versus Pack. Some really long grind games versus Pack, and I always knew it was him because he has like all the royals. So we always had some nice games against Pack. Did Lunalight do well? No. Right, I'm trying to look the top 10. There was no branded or top 10 in the oh sorry, no branded in the top 10 and no Draco Tail in the top 10. Right? There's this list, but I don't count. I don't know if I want to count like second or third decks, right? Like I would count it if they didn't play Cool Tune and Radiant as well. But if you didn't play it the whole time, I don't know if I should count it because like it could have been like 3 games of this. Like who knows, right? This could have been day 1, which is not really an impressive finish, right? If it's just 30k with branded and then the rest was Cool Tune, like you know what I mean? I feel like branded is inconsistent to go against something like Cool Tune. Um, I think the games were very consistent with the way that I played it in terms of what I got out of the hand that I was dealt. I feel like it was pretty reliable. It's just that it didn't consistently get a win. It often consistently got a loss. But like I felt like the games were very similar, right? When I drew an engine hand versus Cool Tune, most of the games played out the same, whether I won or lost. They played very similarly. Um, so I guess we'll look all the way down at 16 is the best performing Draco Tail list. And also branded. So let's take a look at these. Is similar equal boring? Not necessarily. Okay, so 0 to 35k play Dracotel, and then 35k plus, I guess, branded. What did they end on? 64k. Okay, so this is branded Dracotel. Looks pretty standard. They're on all three traps. I think it was fairly common to cut horn. They're on Grand Guignol. That's kind of interesting. I kind of like that. I kind of like Grand Guignol. We've got High Spirits in the deck. This is like a more branded heavy list, but we're not on Quam. Congrats on the DC Cup run. Thank you, Hears. I was impressed by your run and respect your high standard, to be honest. You were the best branded player along with Nightfall. Yeah, we played against Nightfall a couple times, right? And Nightfall was always on branded as well. He was the only branded player that was like above me for a lot of the run. And I think he definitely will have ended higher than me because we fell at the end. But he was like the only branded player that was like even higher than I was in the top 10. Yeah. This list is cool. He also crashed out. I imagine. I imagine most people crash out. Isn't the music a tad too high? Is it? I'll turn it down a little bit. Um, I never crash out. I don't think that's true. So the best performing Dracotel list is like a heavy branded one, right? With Granguinol and High Spirits. It's not that heavy, but it's like a little heavy. And then we have the pure branded list. Okay. So this is supposed to be the best performing branded list, but there's also a 60 card one that we haven't seen yet from third place potentially. So this is a very different list to what I'm playing. I mean, it's not that different, but it's on a few different choices. We're playing Retaliating Sea as our choice. Why are we on Retaliating? Is this card good against Cool Tune? Like, I guess you could chain it to Cool Tune Synchro, and then it does negate everything that they want to synchron. I guess it's good, right? I guess actually this is kind of good. It's ass. How do you even get rid of it without messing up your plays? I mean, I guess it messes up your plays a little bit too, but I could see it being playable. They're on Cockatoриum, and they're on Nadia Servant. The rest of the list is the same. The rest of the list is exactly what we play. There's a Typhon in the extra deck instead of Chaos. Both Sock and Cock. Yeah, I mean you might as well, right? You might as well. You don't the Cockatorium doesn't come up, right? This is more of a search target for branded fusion. It's not like you're trying to draw it. It's only a one of. So you might as well play them both. But I could justify cutting them, right? If you're gonna play Cock, I could justify cutting Sock. Typhon is crazy. It is crazy, but I guess it's good versus Cool Tune. So in theory, it might work, right? It probably goes hand in hand with the Nadia Servant, right? Okay, one sec. BLB chat. I'll be like 2 minutes. Hello. I'm back. So, where were we? We were looking at this list. Yeah, so oh yeah, I was talking about the Typhon. Um, I can see it, right? Typhon is like kind of good versus Cool Tune. The only issue is that you can't summon it if you branded fusion or attempt to, or if you activate Wildbaz, which is like a heavy restriction. You would need to have a very specific hand to like play into the Cool Tune board, summon Typhon, have it be impactful, and then like win. You know? Like you would I can't imagine that coming up a lot. I don't really know what the Typhon was for, to be honest. They're playing the DS7. I don't know how they managed with this card. Like it's good going first, bad going second. I don't know how they coped with that, going second into Cool Tune. Talking about Typhon and branded, I was thinking about KT. Yeah, look, it's a branded list. um, it's a branded list. Anyway, I'm really looking for somebody who played only branded. Right? If we keep scrolling down, nothing out of the ordinary yet. Just it's only Sky Striker, Cool Tune, Radiant, Dracotel, and then this one Vancrystal guy. So far, nothing weird. Jesse Cotton played only Draco. Um, yeah, nothing weird. We got a 60 card branded deck here. Should we check out that one? Okay. Branded 0 to 40k, and then Flash Blade? This is Sky Striker, right? Yeah. Sky Striker for the rest of it. Any Cloudian tops? No, Mia. I don't think there's any Cloudian tops. So I mean, this is not like a super high performing branded list. It's only up to 41k or 40k. But let's see what they played. Wow, look at that. Holy Royals. Um, they got triple Royal Nadia. They got a Royal FNV. Royal we played against this, right? I remember seeing all of these Royals. The Royal Branded Fusion, the double Royal Albion, the Mirajade, the Lenetus, the Lubellion, the Grand Granol, the Titaniclad, the Rinbrum, and oh my god. It's all Royals. Royal Ecclesia, Royal Champions, double Royal Dogma. It's all Royals. Excuse me? Gamer moment. This is like super royal. I'm surprised they've got no Royal Thrust or Grass. Oops, all Royals. Yeah. Royal new kit as well. What's what's crazy is to think about how often or like how long these new cards have been out, right? Like the rest of the cards, like Mirror Jade, the old cards, like I can kinda accept that this was like a work in progress over many years. But Kit, Ecclesia, Sword Soul, these cards have only just come out. So an FNV, this person has wailed recently, right? This person has wailed recently for all of these royals. Keeping Mastodon free to play, yeah. But anyway, the actual list is like kinda standard for 60 cards. In 60 cards, it makes sense that you would play the Sword Soul, the kit, the new kit, right? The cock, the Dogmatic Ecclesia. It makes sense that you'd play all the bricks, the sword, the retribution. There's even a second retribution. It makes sense you play all the options because it's grass, right? It's 60 cards. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't play Lubellion and Lost though. Um, like look at this. In 60 cards, why wouldn't you play Lubellion and Lost? I feel like that's the main reason to play 60 cards. It's so that you can play all the options, including Lubellion and Lost. Like, it's a good mill with grass. One question, did you saw OCG ban list? Will Norden with Errata be a good super poly target that Branded will run? Probably not, because it doesn't do anything on the field. But I did see the ban list, yeah, and I'm actually really excited for the potential implications for Master Duel, because if they ban Cold Buy, that would be pretty cool. Banning Cold Buy would be pretty cool. Yeah, they banned Finger. We want Finger banned? Yes, we do. This list is cool. It's on Debarrier as a thrust target going first instead of duplication. That makes sense because first of all, Cool Tune loses to Debarrier, so does the mirror match. But also, duplication feels harder to make live if you're playing with just synchro cards because you don't actually use branded fusion. This list is cool. I get it. I'm really surprised that we're not on Lubellion and Lost though. I feel like that's a freebie if you're gonna play 60 cards, right? But anyway. And then the rest of their list, no. Sky Striker, yeah. Yeah, we didn't see the Sky Striker list. And then they played Sky Striker. Do you think Starliege can work as an extra starter? It's the same as Cock, but worse. Starliege is just Cockatorium, except it loses to Impon. Um, Dolphin is English. Dolphin in English. Cool name. What is this? Goal? I'm not clicking on a link that says goal. We have more Cool Tunes, Sky Striker. Literally nothing interesting yet. Like, the most rogue deck we've seen is this one Vanquish Soul Canine. Everything else is like super normal. There's not a single pure branded player. Not a single person playing only branded is on this list yet. Oh, there it is. Okay, there we go. There's one person. There's also a Malice here, by the way. Malice here, finally. Like the fifth deck makes an appearance. Let me see the Malice list. Oh my god, it's tiny. Yeah, that's Malice. Nothing changed. Yeah, that's Malice. That's exactly what I expected of Malice. Just all the standard Malice ratios that you can play, and then the Radiant Typhoon deck. The package to make it good. One Fua for crossout. We're playing the MST in Malice, which is like sure, I guess. But yeah, anyway, this is what I wanted to check out. This is the first, all the way down at 74th global with 54-ish thousand points, 53-ish thousand points. This is the first person that played only branded. And that is a 60 card deck. Do you know what Ram Ram does in Zoo Radiant Typhoon? Ram Ram, so like my understanding is that it gives you some extra body plays. Like you can pop it with your own Dryden to get the rat back onto the board, but I don't know if that's actually the reason they play it. I think it might be to play through hand traps better with rat, so that you can send it with rat, and then there is a target for you pop to summon Broad Bull again. Yeah, that's it. It's so that you can get a second search. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know if you need that though. Do you need that? Is that necessary? But then look at this. Okay, this is interesting to me because this is the first. This is the first pure branded player that's got a list. So in a way, you could say this is the best performing branded deck. And wow, it's extremely standard. It's on Nadia 7 though. We're also playing Melong in the extra deck as a Ground Granole disruption. That's pretty cool. They kind of copied you? No, this is just standard. This is just the standard 40 card list. They played Nadia and also Kit. They didn't play Sword Soul or New Kit, which is interesting because I kind of realized earlier what I mentioned right? What I mentioned, I realized earlier about how you can't do a good combo without some breaks. You really can't play. If you had stopped playing, you would have been the best. Yeah, I did notice that. This person ended on 53. If only we'd stopped at 54. If only we'd stopped, we would have been the one. We would have been the one. Um, but so what? It is what it is. Oh, Nightfall was also yeah, Nightfall was 60k at one point. Nightfall was higher than me. Um, for sure. Yeah, he was. I don't know how he ended though, because he's not in the top 10 anymore. Nadir is so dumb. Honestly, like I feel like Nadir 7 must there must be something that I'm missing, but I have tested it extensively because it's just really good going first and really bad going second. And I guess some people just think that that's fine, right? Like they'll take a really good draw going first and they'll just say, fuck it, if I draw it going second, like so be it. Like I guess some people just like that. It's not for me though. Personally, I felt like even without Nadia, I was able to win the game really reliably going first when I played. Um, and I just wanted a card that's better going second. Nadia is also an alternative for going second there. If it successfully sends cards like Malong. I guess you could send Malong with it to break boards, but that's not great. That's not amazing. Isn't it okay going second because it's a push and a disruption? No, it's not. It's not a push. It's not a push. It's a delayed push. If you activate Nadia, you don't break at any board. You have to play on the next turn because it locks you out of the extra deck. So you have to be setting up as if it's turn one, right? You have to have basically broken the whole board for Nadia Servant to be effective. It's basically a going third card, yeah. If you draw this going second, it doesn't shine until turn three. It's like doing a turn one board on turn two. That only makes sense if their board is gone, right? If you've gotten rid of the board with the rest of your hand. That's the only time where it makes sense. And that's not reliable, you know? Especially considering you're doing it with one less card. Especially Cool Tune, right? Like you guys watched the Cool Tune deck versus me, right? You saw how intense it was to break the Cool Tune board and how down to the wire it was to like the last resource all the way in the end phase. How can you expect to go second with Nadir? I don't get it. But maybe I'm just missing something. Maybe it's probably just the going first thing. Like I haven't asked people, but it's probably just the going first thing because it is a really, really good draw in a lot of hands going first. Without Nadir, we just don't have enough starters. I never felt that. Going first, I never felt that I was like running out of starters. I never felt that I didn't draw enough. So I like this list, no extra bricks. Well, lists are nice to look at, Lamster. Until I ask you, what is the one card Wildbaz combo? We go Wildbaz, send Albion, summon Ecclesia, make the Synchro banish, summon what? New kit search F and V, set F and V, summon Quam with Titan in the end phase instead of Albion. Like, you don't have a great line here. There's no way to end on Mirror Jade. Okay, I'm sorry. The cards are being really loud. End on the cart synchro Quam. Yeah, I mean that's awful, right? It's the TCG thing, yeah, and the TCG sucks. Branded. It's it's not good, right? Like you gotta play some number of bricks to make your Wildbats combo worth it, in my opinion. If you're not ending on Mirror Jade, you're trolling. If you are not ending on Mirror Jade, you are trolling. But sure, they did well. The list is good. It's just a bit different. The board is still layered, yeah, but it's weak. Layered isn't the most important thing. Reliability is the most important thing. Um, more Zoo, more Cool Tune. Another 60 card branded deck here. Let's see what this one is. Whoa, look at this. This one's on Diabells. So I actually I actually thought Diabells would be really good. I had Diabells in my back pocket. Look at this. Look at my prepared decks. I had Diabells in my back pocket the whole time. I prepared a Diabells list, and the objective is that you summon it with F and V. This is similar to my list, but Diabell. You mean this list or the 60 card one? The point of this is that this card auto wins versus Radiant Typhoon, Sky Striker, and the Mirror Match. Right? Yeah, this is the TCG goo. It makes sense in the TCG when you can side it. Yeah. This is the perfect side card for branded. This card doesn't Curse of Anubis do that too? No. Curse of Anubis is like a tier floodgate. Okay, I mean, I know what card you mean. You mean End of Anubis. But this negates graveyard effects. That's not the objective. The point of Diabells is that it negates quick play spells, basically. Invader of Darkness is probably what they mean. Yeah, so so why not play Invader over Diabells? There is one reason, or there's like two reasons I can think of to play Diabells over this, because this card says your opponent can't activate quick play spells. This card says they have to set before activating, so it basically has the same effect, except in theory, Diabells, they can outgrind it, right? Like they can set them, and then theoretically still win with them later. But the difference is that Diabells pops normal spells, right? So they have to set normal spells, and then you get a pop one, and that's really good against Draco Tail, which in theory could have been a popular matchup. Um, this is also Diabell stops Dominus impermanent evenly. Yes, it also does. It also stops Dominus and evenly too. And and chat, here's the best part of Diabells. What does Enneacraft do against this card? Nothing. You can't activate Pendulum Scales, so they're dead. And Invader doesn't do that. Invader doesn't stop Enneacraft. So that's why I decided on Diabells instead. But I never played it. I never played it, and you guys know why I never played it, right? It's because the only deck we played against was Cool Tune. There was no reason to floodgate Sky Striker, the Mirror Match, and Radiant Typhoon if every opponent is Cool Tune. So I never pulled out this list, but in theory it was waiting in the wings. In theory it was waiting in the wings. And this person was playing it, which is cool, I guess. They're also on an evenly as a target. They're on duplication still, which is fine to play one. I'd probably still try to play 1 in 60. And then they're on like everything. Yeah. Um, Shaddy played Cool Tune. Cool. Good for him. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. The Synchron FTK. In top 100. Here it was. We got FTK'd by this thing twice. We got FTK'd by this twice. It's a Shifter Synchro FTK. Look at this shit. It's a 40 card Synchron deck that just FTKs you, and it plays Shifter because why? Why are we playing Shifter? Like, what does this deck do under shit? I guess it just makes speeder anyway in OTKs with generic synchros. This is also cheap to make. The extra deck's pretty expensive, but yes, this is pretty cheap to make. Everything plays Shifter now. Yeah, I mean they can do stuff under shifter, especially if you can't, and they can just make a Baron going second or something, like Baron Omega, generic synchros going second, that definitely wins, you know? So yeah, crazy. They can probably just OTK you under shifter if you don't do anything. Yeah, this is not okay. Can we ban what is the problem card here? Unironically, I feel like Speeder is the problem because this kind of synchron FTK style um it's existed for a while, right? And they keep giving synchron these like new support cards. Speeder is way too good. Crimson? What do you mean by Crimson? Crimson Dragon? I guess Crimson Dragon could be the answer, yeah. Deck sucks till a good pilot pops up. The Synchron is such a weird deck because this deck is nowhere to be seen until the Duelist Cup comes around, and then it's suddenly like there's always that one guy who's like, I'm gonna play Synchrons and I'm gonna be at 50,000. Like it's always there and never anywhere else. But yeah, cool. Synchron FDK. And then we have another branded deck here from El Elicto. Let's see this one. Okay, this is just another standard list, also on Nydia. It seems like I'm alone in hating Nydia Servant. Genuinely, seems like I'm the only person who doesn't like it. But the rest of the list is just standard, right? It's on Sword, which is fine. It's it's on Sword Soul, 2 cut, one of each, by the way. OG cut and all art cut Cartesio. It's also on Old Kit. Extra deck looks pretty normal. They're on Furious instead of they're on Furious and Chaos actually. They're not playing a super poly target, so they're playing Furious and Chaos. Okay. And then other than that, it's just normal. One draw, I guess. Sure. Like I struggled to fill the last 2 spots myself, so like whatever. They chose draw. It's good for cope, but when push comes to shove, it's just slow. I mean, the assessment of Nadia, according to me, is really straightforward. It's a god card going first, and the dead card going second, right? It's like the best draw going first is the worst draw going second. Like actually just such a polarizing card. It's like it reminds me of like a solemn judgment. Right? It's like if you go first with it in your list, like yeah, sick, right? But if you go second, it's like ew. Also thank you to One Strick for following. Yeah, okay. So all the small branded decks are looking pretty consistent with each other. And then more stuff. Yeah, so basically nothing surprising. Like if we look at all of the rogue decks, um let's go over to the breakdown here. Look at this. The top 100 decks. It was 54% of it was Cool Tune. Then it was Sky Striker and Radiant Typhoon Zoo, which makes sense. From my experience, Cool Tune was obviously the top deck by representation. Then the next most popular deck was like Radiant Typhoon Zoo and Sky Striker. Those were the next most popular. And then it was the branded decks, right? I felt like pure branded was more common than Draco Tail, but I guess not, according to this. I think we should look at the one cool deck in the top 100. Is it this? Is it the Malice deck? Like, what are you talking about? Wait, this pie chart is so wrong, right? Isn't it missing things? What are these? What are these? What are these slices? They're not labeled. Like, it must. I mean, there's one Malice, so it must be the Synchron FTK that we saw. It must be the Synchron FTK. 22nd place. Oh, it's you. Oh, wait, I didn't even notice Lunalight is in here and it's you. Right, of course. Um, this is the only Lunalight that popped. How is it 1.1%? Because not every list is available. Not every person has given a list. I think that's the reason. Yeah, so Taramia played Lunalight. It didn't actually tot. What do you mean it didn't actually tot? I only got a 35k with Lunalight? Okay. Well, I mean, you know what you're doing, Lunalight. Your list looks pretty normal, I think. And then you played Cool Tune. Cool. F and V Cool Tune, which I guess we didn't look at the Cool Tune lists, but I imagine some of them were playing that. Yeah, if we look here, decks, 50 Cool Tune in the top 100 out of the ones found so far. Then 12 Striker, 11 Radiant Typhoon, 6 Draco, 40. Okay, this is actually interesting, by the way. Look, 460 card branded. Out of the 7 branded lists, more of them were 60 cards than 40. So I don't think this means 60 is better. I don't think this means 60 is better. I think this is just a natural product of what happens when you let all of those like good Asian branded players play in the Duelist Cup. There's a lot of people that play 60 card branded like religiously, and I think that this is a product of that more so than it being the better build. I think this was always going to happen just because people love to play 60 card branded. Um, I think that's genuinely what this is. Sometimes the comfort pick wins. I mean, yeah, but it's also a skill gap thing, right? Like 60 card branded does offer a little bit more skill diff than 40 card does, so it could be that. And then we've got 2 Vanquish Soul, only one pure Radiant Typhoon, one Synchron FTK, a Lunar Light, and a Malice. And then if we look at the region breakdown, it's mostly Japan and Asia. Look at this. Look at this. Come on. Come on. Half of the top 100 is Asian, and then the rest of us have scraps. What is this? What do you mean there's 6 players from NA and 7 from EU? What do you mean? What do you mean? That Pure Radiant Typhoon was played by Ryan? Oh yeah, it was. You're right. I need a good 60 card branded list. I mean, I guess when Grey Ghost shows us the list, this would be the best one, right? Because this is third place. Yeah. Whoa. Okay, so anyway, he only played to 40k, then he dropped off, so he swapped. Oh yeah, he's talking about Ryan. Is the Malice list there? The Malice list was there. I don't know if I want to actually play any games, if I'm honest. Where is Player? Didn't he cook this season? I feel like we did play against Player. We played against Player. How to see the spreadsheet? If you join my Discord, there is a link to it. But Has can also give it to you. It's available. It's available for free. Has just links it out. If you join the Discord, there is an easy link to it. I did not see the notification. It's okay, Moon. You know what I think we'll do? We're gonna play Danganronpa in an hour. So instead of playing any games, I think shall we do some celebratory pulls? I know my ending result wasn't anything to write home about, but I'm still proud of the run overall. If we take away the finish, I did very well and I should be proud of it. So, nice excuse to open some packs, right? Should we do some pulls? Was player on Draco Tail? No, I think it was pure branded. Don't show the replay, keep them for YouTube. I've already made my YouTube video for the highlights. I'll be uploading that later. So later today, after Danganronpa, I will be uploading my highlights video. Um, it's really good. The highlights are really cool. What are these? Special tickets. Is it just Legacy Pack? No, this is like tournament pack or whatever. It's from DC Cup. This is like the Master of Ham. Toxic Boxfish is new. Yeah, this is the punishment target for when you're under shifter. um, Abduction. I guess we'll spend these. Okay, we actually pulled the boxfish and the Master of Ham. Yeah, we got a lot of gems. We got 10,000. Should we try to pull some more branded royals? Should we try to pull some branded royals? I think we should try to pull some branded royals. Um, I don't know if this is the pack I want to pull though. I think this one is the one I want to pull, right? To try and get some new ones in Royal. That would be pretty cool. Because we already have most of the supers in Royal. It's time. Save them. Save them for what? Save them for what? Maybe we should save them actually. Should I make a single prediction? No, I don't know. I'm considering not doing it and waiting for a better time because it's really warm. It's really warm, and I just wanna fall over. Gotta go for the pack with the alt lights. Okay, I don't think that's true. We don't have. Is that still available? The alt art pack doesn't exist, right? Is it this one? I mean, this one has OG. Um, this one has this one, but I already have a royal of this one. Let's pull some packs. Hello, for a good one, and hopefully better luck next time. Thank you. I think the same. I'm hoping for better luck next time. To be honest, I don't need better luck because genuinely I didn't have bad luck this time. I think I just threw the last half of the third day by myself with my own decision to keep playing. That was just a bad choice. I don't think I actually had bad luck or anything. What decks do you want to play? Um, Honestly, I want to play branded until the next deck I'm excited for is like invoked. Like I'm not excited for any of the new stuff coming out except invoked. That's like the next deck that I'm interested in. No Witchcrafter? Is Witchcrafter even a deck? Is Witchcrafter even a deck? Why do you like Branded? It's just fun. I really love Branded because it's like you earn every win, right? With Branded, you have to like craft a disruption. You don't just draw a Ghost Bell and then drop it like hand trap decks. Witchcrafter does a thing in the OCG. Spellcaster Slop. Yeah, isn't that like Fairy Tale? A Spellcaster Slop deck? Isn't that a deck as well? That we should be getting soon? Anyway. Let's open some packs. Let's open some packs. Let's try to get some branded royals. I can't find the spreadsheet of this World Cup, only your old spreadsheet. It's in the competitive resources channel. It's Hass's Duelist Cup tracking spreadsheet. Maybe somebody can link it in the chat. Fairy Tale is way less slop than Witchcrafter. We'll have to see. I don't know anything about either of the decks. Oh my god, it's so warm. It's literally 32 degrees right now. It says severe heat warning. What about Fiend Slop? 32 is freezing? Shut up, Mia. I'm talking about Celsius. I'm not talking about Fahrenheit. 32 is really warm. Oh, hello. I already have you. That global warming really hitting, yeah. Get naked? How do you know I'm not already? Okay. Um, Literally, there's no pulls that we need except the royals. That was almost a royal. Damn, look at her. Matriarch. Literal mommy? What the hell is a kilometer? Am I right? Maybe we should build any craft. Oh, upgrade. This is it. This is the royal. This is it. I can feel it. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh, come on. You baited me. You baited me. I really thought it was gonna be it. Did you see it spin? It spun. I really thought it was gonna be it. Abaz. The Welbaz edging. Utopia is a bad sign? What do you mean it's a bad sign? Surely it can't be bad. That is a glossy though, so I guess we can play a glossy. I don't like playing glossies though when it's like one glossy and one regular, because it looks kind of ass in the deck list. Glossies just kind of look ass anyway. Go down to like 5,000 or 4,000. You don't want me to spend them all? Overframe Impulse? I don't want to pull for Impulse. What about two Glossy? I don't think I like Glossy at all, actually. Are you excited for tunes? No, I'm really not excited for tunes. I'm really dreading what tunes do. I really don't like the hand card mind scan or whatever it's called. I really don't like that. Oh, hello, Ultra Res. FNV, any a craft release. I don't remember if I dusted the whales that I pulled. Maybe we can build any a craft. Also thank you to Jamar for following. It's your calling to play the freak deck. The freak deck. The shapes. Look at these shapy freaks. Freaky shapes. It's only downhill after this format. I don't know if that's true. I'm really excited for Invoked cards. Not only because Invoked is cool, but because Invoked has implications in Branded. Right? Like you can play some of the Invoked cards, like the boss monster in Branded. Hello, Royal. It has been downhill since Jush. Um, I mean, Albaz release is a positive. I can't deny that. I really like Draco Tail format, but I can't deny that Albaz is cool. Never thought Rapier would be this relevant. I know, right? Um, honestly though, is it Rapier? Is it Rapier that's good, or is it just Swan that's broken? If you ask me, I don't think it's the zoo cards that are good. I think it's just the Radiant Typhoon package that's too good. Because zoo doesn't see play in any deck other than the Radiant Typhoon deck because it has the best Beast Warrior. Are we royal hunting? Yes. Also high Neoro. Zoo could be using Lunalight, I guess, but you don't even need to. And pure Radiant Typhoon has many tops than Rats, I think. That is false. That is extremely false. Every single Radiant Typhoon deck in the top 100 was Zoo, except for one, which was pure. So it really was the Zoo build that was the superior one. Where did we stop with Danganronpa? We're about to start chapter 3. We're gonna start chapter 3 later of V3. My bad for misinforming. I also thought the same thing before the Duelist Cup. I thought that the pure build was going to outperform the zoo build. Initially, I didn't think that. Initially, I thought the zoo build was clearly better, but then Taramir convinced me that the pure build was better. But then it ended up not being true. It ended up that pure was like worse. You are not immune to propaganda? No, I am not. I am not immune to propaganda. Can I just get a royal, please? Oh, okay, we've got a lot of these, but like no royals. Thoughts on Dogmatica Lawbringer in 60 card branded. You can search it with the Sword Soul synchro, right? Which is like kind of cool, I guess, but probably not worth it. Okay, I need to open a drink. It's way too warm. Way too warm. It's like deathly warm. Sword Soul synchro plus that Dogmatica guy is a rank 8 XCs. If only you weren't locked. Yeah. Um, by the way, something I didn't say during the weekend because I was obviously like not there, not on voice, but like we had so many follows and so many viewers throughout the weekend. It was kind of crazy. So like I really appreciate all that. Thank you. We had so much stuff. Oh my god, glossy whale. Our royal almost became the whale. We almost got the whale. You did crazy numbers, yeah. Like there were so many people here, and we got so many follows. We're up to 4.3 thousand followers, which is like crazy stuff. The shapes beg for an audience. um, what is this? Archfiend Playtime. Heed their call. Imagine pulling a royal whale and it's just sitting there, face down half the time. Oh my god, yeah, nobody knows it's royal. Wait, yeah, imagine having a royal Enneacraft and you're just sat there like that guy in the party, right? That party meme. The guy's just like, they don't know my face down whale is royal. I guess one thing that we have a good chance of getting is a royal super. We still have to get royal dogmas. We could potentially get those. Royal Lollipo? I don't think you can you get a Royal Lollipo? Oh no, it is a super, right? Yeah. Why are you so obsessed with Lollipo bot? Therion just making an appearance here after being kicked out of Duel Links meta? I watched a little bit of Josh's Duel Links grind, like last weekend. Am I missing something? Has Mitsu and Yumi just completely died? Yes. Yumi died because RS randomly increases your levels and back to back randomly increases your levels. So Yumi's dead. Um, and I guess Mitsu is just like hit with the Prez hit. Right? Oh, we keep pulling so many Fallen of the White Dragon. He do be fallen. The only thing that gave me hope while facing Rat is that their Dogma out is a bit clunky. Yeah, the Dogma out is a bit clunky, but I was never able to get to it without like Super Poly most of the time. Look, we pulled this again. Because he's worth it? Is that like a L'Oreal joke? Okay, this is the Royal. I can feel it. Nope. He really wants to be Royal, yeah. Okay. I wonder if this card is good. This card got slightly better since Wildbaz was released. Theoretically. Theoretically. Okay, I'm not gonna spend any more gems. I think I'm gonna save some for a potential new pack. Because we still gotta open new stuff, right? We still gotta pull for like Crown or whatever. I'll probably end the stream now. I didn't want to do any gaming today. I just wanted to do a little recap just to say my piece. And I'm gonna take a short break because we're gonna come back in about half an hour and we're gonna play some Danganronpa again. So, are you interested in new Magistas? Probably, yeah. So come back in 20, 30 minutes or 40 minutes and then we'll continue with Danganronpa. So, yeah. Good to see you, chat. Good to talk again. Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye.